Good morning, everybody. We're here. Could be the last game of the season. Might just be the last game of the season for the Seahawks. Not in our hands anymore. It's in the hands of the boys in Detroit now. So, obviously, we're not going to know if it's the last game of the year until a few hours after, even if we win. But we know it's the last game of the regular season, so let's get up for it. Let's get excited for it. It could be the last time we see these guys. You know some of these guys are going to go to other teams in the offseason. You know that some of these guys, they might even retire. Guys like Al Woods, might be the last time you see him in a Seahawks uniform. So let's get up for this one. Let's get excited. Let's try to get this team to a winning record. Let's try to get this team to a point where we can look at them and say, hey, they were better than average. They were an above average team in 2022. We're almost there. One more win locks in a winning record. People are going to point to the schedule. People are going to point to this and that and the other thing. But a winning record would blow the expectations out of the water that pretty much everyone had in the preseason. And I'm feeling pretty good about this one. I'll say that the Rams have obviously been a really bad team this year. They've been really bad in particular on the road. They have one road win all year. Most of their success has come at home, so I'm looking at this one. I'm looking at all the injuries the Rams have, and right off the bat, I'm like, okay, let's just go take care of business here, all right? Because all the things that have made the Rams a special team in the last several years, they're gone. None of that stuff matters right now. They've got a couple blue chippers left on that defense, and other than that, it's just a team that is playing out the string. Now, before I go deeper into this game, one thing I want to talk about. If the Seahawks win, if the Seahawks beat the Rams, then I will be starting my post-game stream as early as I can. I don't know exactly when, but I'm going to be starting it as early as I can, so that way we can do kind of a watch-along stream of the Packers-Lions Sunday night game. Because obviously that game becomes very important to us if the Seahawks win. If the Seahawks lose, then I'm probably just going to do the typical schedule of going live around halftime. But if the Seahawks win, I'm going to try to go live in the first quarter or early in the second quarter. I'm not going to be able to go live right when the game starts, I know that. But I'm going to go live as early as possible. So, something to watch out for. Hope it pans out that way. I hope I am able to go live. That way we can do a joint post-game stream / Packers-Lions watch-along to see if the Seahawks are able to squeeze into that last playoff spot. So, this Rams team, let's start with that offense. They've got a new quarterback since the last time we played him. They brought in Baker Mayfield, and he's had a little bit of success. Some good, some bad. Had some moments, good and bad, for that Rams team. And you can see how having a good coach is helping him along a little bit, but at the end of the day, he is Baker Mayfield, and he's just not that good. So, that presents an opportunity. Not as good an opportunity as somebody like John Wolford, maybe. John Wolford was a guy who, he was getting backed up by a pretty good running game in that first Seahawks game, and he still couldn't really do anything with it. He just has real accuracy problems. He doesn't have much of an arm. Baker's probably a little bit better than that, at least. Maybe he's a lot better than that. I don't know. But still, you have to look at this and you go, okay, this Rams offensive line in the interior is very weak, and our defensive line has been playing better the last couple games. Quentin Jefferson in particular has been playing better, but we've also seen some impact from Shelby Harris. I've seen some impact in the last month from even Poona Ford. We're getting Al Woods back. Not that he's able to play more than a handful of snaps a game, but having him back is still nice. So I look at all that and I go, okay, we should be able to win that matchup. The Rams are not going to have Brian Allen in the middle, and their guard play this year has been pretty terrible. So that should all add up to an opportunity for this interior defensive line to win their matchups. Take away the runs up the middle, dominate Cam Akers' runs, and let the Rams depend solely on their fly sweep and jet sweep game. Now, that could hurt. That could suck. It kind of sucked in the first game. So that's very possible that they end up racking up big rushing yards on us on the fly sweep and jet sweep game, running to the outside. They did it last time. But you got to take away what you can take away, and we got to take away that between the tackles running game, and I think we will. They're getting slightly better play out of their tackles lately. Havenstein's a good player over on the right side, and they have a new left tackle since the last time we played. It's a Neshke, and he's actually played okay so far. He's a player who's been around a long time in this league, and he's getting a chance as a full-time starter here. And he seems like he's doing okay. But when you look at the way the pass rush played against the New York Jets, you also have to figure this is an opportunity for those guys to prove that it wasn't just a fluke. And if the defense can start reasonably strong, and we can build a lead like we did against the Jets, that's going to give this pass rush an opportunity that they often don't get anymore, which is an opportunity to know that the other team is going to have to throw the ball a lot. If that happens, I feel like we can win that battle as well on the edge, and Darrell Taylor can wrap up what has been a pretty impressive end of year for him. And our secondary against their receivers, they're getting decent play out of their receivers lately. They're finding ways to make it work with Tutu, Atwell, he's been okay. Brandon, got Brandon Powell and Van Jefferson, and it's been okay. They obviously had a field day on the Broncos a couple of weeks ago, but you look at some of the other games they played since they got Baker, and it's kind of the same old garbage. So they're not really receivers that strike fear into you. They're just receivers that are playing competently right now, which is more than we can say for some of the receivers you see around the league. So I'm not too worried about that. I think I trust our secondary. Secondary's playing fairly well lately. I trust Woolen. Trust Diggs. He's been playing a little bit better lately overall. He had probably his best game of the year against the Jets. And you add all that up, and I think this defense is going to get it done against this Rams team. I think they're going to hold them to, I said maybe like 13 points in the pregame yesterday. I could see something like that. I feel pretty good about it too. I just look at the way the matchups are. I look at the fact that the Rams kind of spammed the fly sweep and jet sweep game in that first game, and that was really the main thing that worked for them. And I think to myself, okay, this coaching staff should figure something out to counter that, right? This coaching staff should be able to counter that. Because if that's all the Rams are coming in with, and I think that's going to be most of what they come in with, you should have a counter. So I'm counting on this coaching staff, Clint Hurt, Sean Desai, Pete Carroll, come up with a counter to that zone, to that outside zone, fly sweep, jet sweep, rushing attack. And I think the rest will take care of itself. Maybe we got to worry a little bit about Higbee. He's having a pretty decent end of year, I believe. He had a big game against the Broncos. Maybe you got to worry a little bit about that. But I trust our corners against their receivers. I don't think the receivers have anybody that really strikes fear into me. So defensively, I'm expecting big things. This defense has struggled all year. This defense finally kind of got right against the, to a certain extent, you would say the Chiefs, but mainly the Jets. And I expect them to be able to build on that in all ways, in their ability to get pressure and their ability to stop the run. So this is one of the easiest challenges in the league. You're playing a bunch of backups and third stringers outside of guys like Higbee and Havenstein. So get it done, and let's at least finish the season on a decent note defense-wise, because it's been a brutal year. It's been the kind of year that may get some people fired. And I don't know if I want to see that, because a lot of these guys just got here. Desai and Hurt both just got here. I don't know if I want to see that, so let's at least finish on a good note. And then the Seahawks offense. Rams defense is playing okay. They've still got some blue chippers over there. Wagner's having a great year, as we all know. Ramsey, every time I watch Ramsey play, I'm unimpressed, but the experts generally say he's still playing well, so maybe I'm just looking at the wrong times. I don't know. But it's a defense that, at the very least, has some pieces. Like Greg Gaines playing okay in the middle there. But the main thing I'm looking for from this offense in this game is let's find some balance. That first game against the Rams, we couldn't run the ball. Walker out. Dallas limping through the game. Homer was out. Tony Jones Jr. lost his contact lens, couldn't see. We were down to nothing at running back, basically. DJ Dallas stayed in just because we didn't have anybody else. So the first thing that I'm looking for in this game is let's run the ball. And I'm hoping that Gabe Jackson's able to hold up the whole game because he may be our only guard on the right side. And that being the case, that's something that could be worth watching in the second half because usually his knee starts to give him troubles in the second half. But you look at the interior of that Rams defensive line, you should be able to run on them. You should be able to. Even with our bad offensive interior, interior offensive line, we should be able to run the ball on these Rams interior linemen. They've got no Aaron Donald. They've got no A'Shawn Robinson. You should be able to find some rushing attack. We know we're going to have Walker. We know we're going to have Dallas. We know that we're going to have some running backs in this game. Use them. I don't want it to be like that first game against the Rams where the running game became a completely irrelevant part of this team. So find your balance. And if you do that, I don't think you're going to have much trouble winning this game. I think that you're going to be able to put up some points. That Rams pass rush has basically been neutered this year. They've been, scraping through guys on the street like the defensive tackle Munchinson, I think his name is. He actually had a couple sacks against the Broncos, so he's done okay. But the point is, they're having to go that deep into the well to find guys. Aaron Donald out. Leonard Floyd not having nearly as good a year rushing the passer as he usually does. The rookie from third year, Terrell Lewis, I think he's out. So they don't have much of a pass rush. Should be able to win. That first game against the Rams, one of the things I remember about that game was getting physically dominated a little bit. Partially, I think, because you were coming off the flu. So you're not coming off the flu now. It's time to start winning those battles physically. I don't want to see Charles Cross get physically dominated and manhandled by a no-name defensive end. So you take care of all that, you run the ball, find balance, you're good. So that's mainly what I'm looking for right now. That's mainly what I want to see in this game. Obviously, Gino's going to do his thing. I trust him against this secondary, although the secondary's playing pretty well lately. Kobe Durant's really found himself the last couple of months, it seems like. They have Hill on the outside along with Ramsey, and he's playing fairly well this year. Taylor Rapp looks like he's playing better over the last several games. But overall, I look at the matchups and I go, we still should be able to win these matchups. So that's really all I can say about this game. There's not a lot to go into here. The Rams are a team made up mostly of backups at this point. Their best players remaining are Wagner and probably Ramsey. Other than that, I don't know who they even have that's really even good. Maybe their kicker. What is it, Matt Gay? He's good, but yeah, it's a team that is really stripped down, and you should be able to take care of business here. And I said in the pregame stream last night something like 27-13 Seahawks. That's what I'm expecting. Just put together a complete game, rule the roost against this really bad Rams offense, and find your balance. Don't let it be like that first game. You've got K9, use them. Find a way to block up that interior, because those interior defensive linemen that the Rams have left, they're just okay. They're just whatever. They shouldn't be starting in the NFL. They are because everyone got hurt. So that's really all I can say about this one, guys. I'm excited. I'm intrigued to see what happens here. But at the end of the day, there's no doubt in my mind that it should be a relatively simple win. Now, we might have to get into a battle with the NFL. It's been documented many times that they probably want the Sunday night game to be winning in. Therefore, they're going to want the Rams to win. So if that's something we have to deal with, then so be it. I would expect this team to overcome that. That's how bad this Rams team is. We overcame it in the first game. The refs desperately tried to give that game to the Rams, and we didn't let it happen. I expect that again. All right, I will see you guys later on today. I should be streaming a good chunk of the day during the Chiefs, Raiders, and Titans, Jags games. I'll probably be streaming on Twitch. I hope to see you guys over there. And hopefully I'm able to do an extended post-game stream after this Rams game because the Seahawks have won. All right, I'll see you guys later on. Go Hawks, and let's see what we got, guys. Let's see what we got.